What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This time I'm going to take another look at some kicking, and this time it is the video The Era of the Barefoot Kicker by NFL Films. And this is another one that I think, because I uploaded my barefoot kicking video, that YouTube just threw up the video into my suggestions. So I'm just going to have a look at this because I didn't even know that the NFL went through a barefoot kicking era in the first place. So let's just get straight into this one.
The 1980s was a decade of many fads. Hair was high. Bobby McFerrin was top of the charts. And the Miami Vice look was everywhere.
The decade is definitely worth a second look.
In NFL stadiums, this was the time of the
Whoa!
The fridge, and the icky shuffle. But there was one more trend that has all but been forgotten. This was an era when strange one-shoed creatures roamed NFL playing fields. They were called barefoot kickers, and their demise continues to perplex serious scholars to this day.
Why don't we see more barefoot kickers?
Whoever thinks of these questions.
Come on, Ray, whoever thinks of these questions. Oh, it's a collaborative effort. That is an interesting... Who gets drunk? Who smokes a big bowl at night and says, I'm going to ask about the barefoot kickers? We got a new NFL network, and we got to fill some time.
Oh, this guy.
Where have all the barefoot kickers gone?
That's a good question. You know, I don't know if there was a meteor that hit the Earth and killed them all or what, but it certainly had its day, and it came and went.
Rich Carlos kicked for the Denver Broncos for 7 seasons.
I don't know how he did it on some of those cold days. Rich Carlos lives around here, and you see him, his foot is like 3 times the size of his other foot. He's just slomping along and come in the house because he wrecks all the floorboards. And that thing is still swollen.
It's been about a little over a year since I actually took a swing.
Carlos was one of the best barefoot booters of all time, but he was not the first. The barefoot craze began slightly before he got his foot in the door.
Autumn 1979. The Eagles' most interesting new face was afoot. Kicker Tony Franklin brought a new look to the NFL.
In his first game as a pro, the Eagles' Tony Franklin kicked the NFL's first barefoot field goal. At 5'8", 185 pounds, he
Hey, I mean,
very buff,
if it made him kick better, fair enough.
was, and it became an instant celebrity.
Tony's toes.
Today, Franklin works for Honda and drives an Accord, which incidentally became the best-selling car in America during the 1980s.
Ooh.
The only reason I kicked footballs barefooted because it was the best way that I could do it. Most people thought I was an outright idiot, you know, so I didn't feel any added pressure being the first barefoot kicker. I couldn't kick with a shoe on with near the distance or near the accuracy, and that's the only reason I did.
Just sitting there with his foot up on the table.
But when I first went to A&M, I just took the sock off altogether and started kicking naked, as we call it.
At Texas A&M, Franklin wasn't the natural. He was the au naturel, setting an NCAA record with a 65-yard field goal.
Tony Franklin certainly influenced me as a kicker
Pretty
in
impressive.
college. He definitely got everyone's attention. For me, it was something I learned and then was stuck with.
Look at that. That's great.
You gotta think of the mentality of a guy
Nice
that
kick.
kicks with no shoe.
Ouch.
You know, usually these guys are a little demented started off with.
Jim Everett was a teammate of barefooter Mike Lansford for 5 years.
You know, Mike Lansford's a good friend of mine. I know him well, and I know he's demented. That's part of the mentality.
Demented.
This way, that's a prevailing way. Right. I kick better going that way. Of course, you can't ever gauge by my kicking. I kick better going that way. So let's kick that way.
It was, you know, too much soap opera stuff. Shaving of his calluses on the team plane, you know, and you have to show you. And then, of course, you know, then he's got toenail problems and this and that. It's all like, it's kind of like a pet, you know. These guys really have some different level of problems that they need to deal with.
Indeed, the Barefoot boys were high-maintenance players.
Yeah, you need to keep your toenails trimmed if you can, because if you get down and you have to really kick the ball, sometimes I have ripped my big toenail out of my foot before.
Ooh.
I had some really good lanolin stuff that they use on cow udders, and that's what they gave me to use on my foot.
As the 80s wore on, the success of the Barefooters spawned a host of short-lived imitators. Even punters tried to get in on the act. From stadium parking lots to the stands, Barefoot mania swept pro football.
That's
but
crazy.
The sweet smell of their shoeless success would eventually turn south.
Safe to say it's long gone now.
By the late 80s, time was running out on the Barefoot era. Following the 1988 season, Tony Franklin retired. He remains the all-time Barefoot scoring leader with 872 points.
Wow.
It allowed me to be successful
Good kicker.
and do a lot of things that the average guy in this country doesn't get a chance to do. I got to play in the Super Bowl twice, played in the Pro Bowl, was made the all-rookie team. I had a great career.
And Carlos will try to do it here.
For me, the game in Cleveland, the drive game, was by far my 15 minutes of fame. Kicking the winning field goal in Cleveland, growing up, just an hour and a half south of there.
The Browns.
To win it in overtime. Ball is down. Carlos's kick is on the way, and it is good.
And ending up on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I don't know if you can get a bigger thrill than that.
The Denver Broncos win it in overtime. In 1989, as a
Nice.
Minnesota Viking, Carlos came close.
To tie an NFL record, 7 field goals in a single game. Rich Carlos from 40 yards out. Here's a kick on the way.
Well, it's high.
It is good. Carlos with number 7.
Ironically, Carlos's
Nice.
big day had come against Mike Lansford's Rams.
Huh.
After the 1990 season,
Old teammates.
both would retire. Lansford with the high honor of having kicked the NFL's last Barefoot field goal. Thus, the era of Barefoot kickers came to an
Straight
end.
down the middle.
They still remain one of the most interesting footnotes in NFL history. But will they return?
I keep watching on Sundays, and I don't see anybody out there kicking or punting barefooted anymore, so who knows? They may still view us as just an 80s fad. You never know.
Like, gag me with a spoon.
Yeah, members only jackets. Where's the
Man, it seems like the NFL's just had like a bit of everything, eh?
That's awesome.
Seriously. Some of the things that I've come across, like Kurt Warner, and his story, and then Deion Sanders. Man, it's just crazy. So cool. Yeah, so it was the barefoot kickers in the NFL, which was basically just only in the 80s, and then it just disappeared. I'd imagine probably because a few of those guys started to retire, and they probably had like serious foot problems, and then the other guys coming through, the other kickers probably, were like, oh mate, I don't want a foot. I don't want to end up with a foot like that. It was horrible. But yeah, if you like that video, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, and let me know of any other videos you want me to check out, because I'm sure there's thousands more that I need to look at. So hit me up, guys, in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one.